The shutdown isn't the only battle facing government leaders. The more critical deadline for the raising of the U.S. debt ceiling is October 17th. If the nation's borrowing limit is not raised, the U.S. could default. The head of the International Monetary Fund warns the consequences could be terrible worldwide. It could strip the dollar of its status as the world's reserve currency. Speaker of the House John Boehner's office says he would not let the government default on its debt. But Boehner's spokesman says if the debt limit is raised, we need a bill with cuts and reforms to get the economy moving again. For more on the debt ceiling, we're joined now by Seton Motley, and he is the president of Less Government. Seton, many people say the government shutdown's a problem, but not raising the debt ceiling could be a disaster. Do you agree?
Well, even not raising the debt ceiling is not even a big deal because you don't have to skip your payments on your interest. The only way you default is if we skip payments on the interest on the bonds we've been issuing. And we're collecting a record level of revenue, more than $2.7 trillion. There's plenty of money to cover all sorts of things. The only thing the debt ceiling does is if you raise it, it allows the government to continue borrowing and spending more than it's taking in. So seeing as we're at a record level of income at the federal level, I don't think it's a revenue problem. I think it's a spending problem. And if anyone in Washington is mature about it, we're not going to miss payments on our debt, and we're not going to go into default.
Well, let's talk about this a little deeper. What would happen to the economy and the markets if there's no agreement to raise the debt ceiling?
Well, again, we'd still have money we're still collecting more than $2.7 trillion a year. There's plenty to cover any number of things you want to choose. One of the dumbest lines of the week was Harry Reid said, the Republicans can't pick and choose what parts of government to fund. Yes, they can. So can you. It's called writing a budget, which Harry Reid hasn't done in 5 years. You can pick and choose what you pay out of the $2.7 trillion in money you actually have to spend and not raise the debt ceiling to allow you to continue borrowing and spending above that level. So you can pay the debt, you can pay Social Security, you can pay Medicare, you can pay Medicaid, all of which will be covered by the $2.7 trillion they're collecting.
The Republicans want spending cuts. Some say that would hurt the economy. Would it?
No. Look, the old joke is you're stuck behind a county truck. One guy gets out of the truck and digs a hole. The other guy fills it back in. You go to the guy driving the truck. Well, the guy that plants the tree is called in sick today. That's the government make work on an economy. There would be some slight bite as you adjust to the fact that the money isn't coming in directly from the federal coffers, but every penny they raise, every penny they spend comes from productive people in the private sector. And were it left in the private sector's hands over a very brief period of time, they would put it to far better use, and you'd see a much greater economic return on the investment, and you'd see a much better growth in the economy, more jobs, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay, Seton Motley of Less Government, as always, thanks for your insight. Have a good weekend.
You too. Thank you very much.
Thank you.